Up next, Reinventing the Radio, a popular podcast that's making kids listen up.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there are so many different prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. Instead of searching for hours or spending too much, Trivago makes it easy for you to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. And that's how you can be sure that you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Fitting into my skinny jeans again? That's cool.
Feeling good in slim fit? That's cool.
Looking fabulous in my little black dress? That's cool.
Getting the body you want without surgery, needles, or downtime? That's CoolSculpting. CoolSculpting is the only FDA-cleared, non-invasive treatment that targets and freezes away stubborn fat cells. Visit CoolSculpting.com today and register for a chance to win a free treatment.
When you have allergies, it can seem like triggers pop up everywhere. Luckily, there's powerful 24-hour non-drowsy Claritin. It provides relief of symptoms that can be triggered by over 200 different allergens. Live Claritin Clear.
At Fidelity, trades are now just $4.95. We cut the price of trades to give investors even more value. And at $4.95, you can trade with a clear advantage. Fidelity, where smarter investors will always be.
How do you chase what you love with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis? Do what I did. Ask your doctor about Humira. It's proven to help relieve pain and protect joints from further irreversible damage in many adults. Humira works by targeting and helping to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms. Humira has been clinically studied for over 20 years.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB. Hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Ready for a new chapter? Talk to your rheumatologist about Humira. This is Humira at Work.
More than 120 years after the radio was invented, the spoken word has found a new home, the podcast. They haven't replaced the radio, but these downloadable shows are reinventing the way people get news, views, and entertainment. And one podcast in particular has kids tuning in.
We'll use the greenhouse, the weather tower. But you're in the weather tower, Julia.
Inside this recording studio, an adventure is unfolding, far beyond these walls.
There's a volcano erupting out there.
It's The Unexplained Disappearance of Mars Patel, a serialized podcast for and about middle schoolers.
Suddenly their friends start going missing. Mars is very crazy about this. He's just trying to find them.
12-year-old Jaya Chetram plays Mars Patel.
So I'm usually not the troublemaker, but I like that I finally get to play someone who is a troublemaker. You can close your eyes, picture yourself in a different place, and that's where your creativity comes in.
The podcast is a homegrown enterprise. Creators Ben Strauss, Chris Terry, David Kreisman, and Jenny Turner Hall are parents from suburban Maplewood, New Jersey.
When we first started the show, we just started meeting at each other's houses. We met in my basement. We met in Ben's kitchen.
Turner Hall says tweens are an untapped demographic in the podcast world.
What is it that you hope a young kid listening to your podcasts considers that maybe they hadn't before?
I want kids to daydream, and they should feel empowered to go create their own characters and their own stories and even make a podcast if that's what they want to do.
Co-creator Dave Kreisman, who wrote for TV soaps, admits this new form to them getting used to.
So I definitely spent some more time listening to my 11-year-olds as they talk to each other and to their friends, so we make sure we weren't using slang from 25 years ago.
But the podcast, part sci-fi, part adventure, is a throwback to the radio shows from the 1940s.
The shadow knows.
It's nice to really be reviving an old format, families gathering around. I mean, they're not gathering around necessarily an old radio set, but they might be listening around a laptop together.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, Mama G.
Emily and Jeremy Donahue like to listen together.
At the end of every week, we were always desperate to know what would happen next.
The ash cloud is blocking our satellite signals.
Actress Riley McDonald is new to the second season.
You can hear the footsteps, you can hear the doors closing, and it really surrounds you and where you are. You're just like, yeah, I'm in the...
Not so fast, Riley, says actress Courtney Chu.
It's such a cliffhanger, you're gonna have to listen to it because no one will see it coming. No one.
Can't wait to hear what happens next. That's the CBS Weekend News for this Sunday. Later on CBS 60 Minutes. I'm Elaine Quijano in New York. For all of us at CBS News, thank you for joining us, and good night.
Tonight, Houston Strong, the Texas National Guard, racing to get desperately needed supplies to those impacted most by this historic flooding. Hundreds of homes without power tonight. Why the city cut that power off, and when those residents can expect the lights to come back on. All right, we have another fire in Crosby at the Arkema plant. Let's check in with Blake now to see how the winds are doing. Maybe that's some good news to people around that plant.
And it certainly is, Ron. The winds are actually calm from the east in a lot of locations. In fact, as we take a look at the map here, you'll see that we're from the east here at Bush Intercontinental right around 8. The Arkema plant going to be here in eastern Harris County, so between Bush and Hobby, still getting that light easterly wind at about 8 miles per hour. So those of you watching from the downtown area, inside the loop or inside the Beltway, you may get a whiff of this this evening. But all in all, the winds are fairly light, so it shouldn't travel too far here across Harris County. As far as your forecast goes this evening, we're looking at mostly clear skies, temperatures dropping down through the 80s. Waking up to tomorrow morning with some patchy fog down to 72. We're at 91 heading into tomorrow afternoon. And coming up in your full forecast, I'm going to talk about the arrival of a front, which comes in on Wednesday. Could lead to a little bit of precipitation across the area as well. And the result will be gorgeous weather. We're also going to be talking about Hurricane Irma coming up in just a few minutes, Ron.
All right, still talking about hurricanes. Thank you so much, Blake. Today, officials started turning the power off in homes that have standing water. However, some houses didn't have any standing water, and they are still getting their power turned off. Sonia Gutierrez joins us now from a neighborhood by Buffalo Bayou where this problem is clearly laid out. Sonia.
That's right. You know, the plan was that any home that was touched by the floodwaters like the one you see right behind me to cut the power off. But the problem has been that the homes that didn't get touched by the floodwaters are getting their power cut off, and those that were are not.
So you have kayaks, bicycles?
Dan Alford did everything he could to be ready for the hurricane.
Yes, this is how I've been getting out of the city or out of the neighborhood, and I've been using the kayak to bring people out of the flooding.
But he wasn't ready for this.
The power went off.
He's already emptied his refrigerator and called the energy company that cut his power out.
I called CenterPoint and told them that my power had been cut and that it was by mistake because not only am I not flooded, but I'm not even in the red zone on the evacuation map.
And they told him this.
Wait patiently.
Maggie Baker, 2 doors down, was told the same thing.
They told me that this house somehow was on the list for the city to have cut off, and that they would need approval from the city to get this house back on.
Here's the crazy part. Just down the street from Dan and Maggie's house, you'll find this one.
The air conditioner is trying to cycle, the lights are on. This is the house they need to turn the power off.
So what's the problem? Well, if you ask Dan Alford.
Lack of communication, lack of organization, bad planning. Apparently the new policy is you're flooded until proven dry. I think we ought to reverse that.
Right now, both residents are still waiting to hear back from CenterPoint and still no power in their homes. We did reach out to the company ourselves, and they said that their procedure is to get a client number and check each home until they hear back from the city. They can turn the power back on. For now, standing for Houston, I'm Sonia Gutierrez with KHOU.
All right, thank you so much, Sonia. And we go back to our breaking news that we told you about just a few minutes ago. Black smoke seen rising above the Arkema chemical plant in Crosby. The Harris County Fire Marshal says it's a controlled burn. Ryan Takeo is joining us live now. Ryan.
Yeah, and all 9 of those trailers have now been detonated. And that happened just in the last couple of hours. We're here at Crosby High School, and the reason why we're here is because just about 15 minutes ago when we were driving in, there were still about 10 or 12 emergency vehicles here. This serves as their command center. I want to get to right now a photo from a witness. He took this, he said at about 3:30 when this all started. You can see this huge plume of smoke after one of the explosions. He told me he and a friend heard the explosions, and then he felt a flutter in his chest. Arkema sent out a press release this afternoon. It was very brief. They're framing this as a proactive measure. Basically, they're saying that the chemicals were degrading and they did not know when it was going to ignite. And so that is why they took this matter into their own hands. That's how they are framing it. Now, if you talk to some neighbors around here, like I did just a couple of days ago, they were frustrated with how long this was going. They did not see why they had to have that 1.5-mile radius if everything was just going to be fine and safe. You heard from the fire marshal who said that it was just basically like sitting over a campfire. So they wanted to get back in. They haven't been in their house since Tuesday, so they're really itching to get back in. So I asked the fire marshal's office, when can that happen? And a spokesperson there told me they don't know. It's going to take a couple days. They have to do some tests, some air quality tests, things like that, to make sure that it is officially safe for those residents to go back in. But we're going to try to get them on camera. We're going to the volunteer fire department after this. We're going to talk to residents to get their reaction, and we'll stay with you throughout the night. Standing for Houston, I'm Ryan Takeo for KHOU.
As we toured around Houston yesterday and went through neighborhoods, we saw in typical Texas fashion, people are already getting back to work and they are cleaning out their houses. People can go back to their homes and begin the rebuilding process like what we've seen across the state of Texas already. And we're so impressed with the work ethic of our fellow Texans about getting back and going to the rebuilding process.
As Texans begin the cleanup process, Governor Abbott also reminded people to protect themselves from anything that could have touched the floodwaters. People in Highlands are still cleaning up tonight, but their worries go beyond just the flood damage. Michael Wooten tells us why they believe the water that filled their homes may be especially toxic.
Stand there and look through the whole house.
A house that's been home to Dwight Chandler's family for 75 years. Now down to just the studs.
The only thing standing is the interior 2x4s. Bathrooms are out. Everything is out of the house.
Much of it tossed like trash.
This was empty when it showed up at 8 o'clock yesterday morning. One day we filled that whole thing up.
Dwight doesn't just worry about what the floodwaters took, but also what the storm may have left behind. There's a Superfund site just down the street. The Highlands acid pit was a dumping ground for toxic waste sludge. And since Harvey, he says the EPA has been MIA.
Come here and test the soil around here, you know. Put a station up, test the air, see what's going on.
This is one of 7 Superfund sites that the Associated Press confirmed suffered extensive flooding, yet were not physically examined by the feds.
We didn't have any idea.
Chuck Ganza's family owns the Highlands property. He says the cleanup in the 80s was extensive, but
people around here are always concerned about it, and of course we're concerned.
Because of the magnitude of the storm in this area. The flooding here is so severe, there's just debris left everywhere. Here's a picnic table, there are trees uprooted, here's a big piece of metal, and the water was so high some of the debris is left 15 feet up in the air. And when Chuck took us right up to the edge of the Superfund site, we learned the floodwaters were so strong they ripped open the outer fencing. Would you feel a little better about it if they did come sometime soon to check it out?
Oh yeah.
For now, though, Dwight has a more pressing problem.
Thinking, how am I going to do all this?
Not alone. Complete strangers showed up to help.
Couldn't do it without them.
Standing for Houston, I'm Michael Wooten in Highlands, KHOU 11 News.
Well, you've probably seen Chinook helicopters all over the sky in the area this week. The Texas Army National Guard has been busy dropping badly needed supplies to folks across southeast Texas. Our cameras tagged along on one of those critical missions. Marcelino Benito is with the Texas National Guard tonight.
Houston Executive Airport is ground zero for the Texas Army National Guard. Since Harvey hit, they've delivered thousands of pounds worth of supplies to the hardest hit areas, and today we hopped on board for a ride. The rescues are over.
but a lot of devastation throughout the area.
But the recovery is just beginning. Colonel Matthew Macias has a bird's eye view from the cockpit of this Chinook helicopter.
You know, with the Chinooks and all the other aircraft around, we're able to provide them with all those services that they need.
It's life support.
Pretty much we were an island like everybody else.
For communities still surrounded by water, airdrops are the only way in.
To the people that need them, that's how they're staying alive. Yeah, they have no food, no water. It's just devastating.
The National Guard has no time to rest. 25 Chinook supply missions a day, landing wherever the need is great and people need help.
Because there's people here that's lost everything, and there's shelters that are needing food and water.
On our supply mission this morning, 8,200 pounds of food and water delivered, and every last pound.
It's just really bad.
Makes a difference.
They take it to a location where they start boating that product to the end user.
Boating?
Boating, yes. There's no, in most of the areas that we have, there are just feet of water still, so there's no driving in there. It's by boat only.
The National Guard dropping in more than supplies, but hope to people who need it now more than ever.
Everybody's doing what they can. People that don't even have things to give, they're giving, so we're grateful.
And once one mission ends, another one begins. The Texas Army National Guard says they'll be here until everyone's needs are met. Standing for Houston, I'm Marcelino Benito with KHOU.
Communities all across the land attending services for a National Day of Prayer after Hurricane Harvey. How local leaders spent the day helping those affected here in Houston.
Star Furniture is now open, ready to help Texas families get back to the comfort they deserve. Save an extra 20% off furniture and mattresses. Plus, get up to 5 years free financing and your entire delivery is free when you purchase any mattress $9.99 or more. Star Furniture.
Ford Mustang. Get 0% for 72 months, plus no charge powertrain coverage, plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
During Star's Labor Day sale, save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets, plus get a $300 gift card. Plus free delivery, plus 5 years free financing too. Star Furniture. Sleep made simple.
Jason, Len, Mia, and myself.
We're not trying to be like anyone else. We do things big.
Big stories, big ideas. It's about doing things differently. I'd say we're not only bold, but daring.
We're not afraid to ask the tough questions.
Not being afraid to take chances. Presenting stories in a way that grabs your attention.
We are invested in this for you.
Now, that's our mission.
That's original.
See the difference for yourself. KHOU 11 News at 10. With CBS All Access, you can watch KHOU 11 News live and watch CBS shows on demand across desktop, mobile, and streaming devices. Go to cbs.com/allaccess now to try it free.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is a National Day of Prayer, set aside for victims of Hurricane Harvey, the national day designated by the President. Michael Crow joins us live to take a look at the different ways people observe that.
Hi there. Well, the people here are exactly who they're trying to help, the victims of this storm and the people helping them. That's who is meant to be honored by this day of prayer, and groups across Houston really took that message to heart. Sundays may be set aside for rest. But in the town of Spring, Texas, there is no time for that.
Well, we say we worshipped and now we're doing workship. So
Pastor Beth Warpmaker,
it's important too,
had already planned a service day for Kinsman Lutheran.
Is Ann here?
And tells some of their members needed help as well. Hurricane Harvey flooded entire neighborhoods.
Not a day for rest until it's done because the water just can't sit.
Ann Brady's home had 16 inches of water inside. That's since been replaced by dozens of volunteers cleaning it up.
All these people, you realize how good of friends you have.
It takes disasters and devastation like this to let us know all the angels that surround us every day.
And while they set to work with hammers and crowbars,
I'm trading my share.
others' tool of choice was song.
We came out to kind of bring hope to the people.
Gail Johnson and members of Pleasant Hill Church of Deliverance came to the George R. Brown Shelter to share prayers. They know that many people lost homes, but some are also missing church.
We need to pray. We need to pray for Houston, pray for one another, and become unified in the body of Christ.
But whether it's communicated through music or much harsher sounds, the message is the same. This tragedy is bringing the people of Houston closer together.
It just breaks down all the walls that we usually put up, They all come tumbling down.
And certainly that need for help is not going to end today or anytime soon. In the weeks and months to come, these people are going to continue to need support, which of course will be there. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Michael. Well, if you were praying for the rivers to come down, your prayers are being answered, even though a little slowly, Blake.
Yeah, that's right. At least they are in the down direction, so that's certainly some good news. I put together a graphic here showing exactly which rivers are falling. Basically, all of them are. Buffalo Bayou at Piney Point Village, at the West Belt, the Brazos River at Richmond, and the Brazos River at Rocher. Now, here's the current stages right here, and you can see the changes. Now, they're not very much. The Brazos River there at Richmond has dropped a little over 2 feet, and you can see how that compares to the flood stages. So all the rivers still way high and still way above flood stage, but again, at least they are beginning to drop just a little bit. So what does it mean for a river to crest exactly? Well, I put together a little graphic here. So as the rain comes down, the river begins to swell a little bit, as you would expect, but sometimes the crest can occur long after the rain ends, and here's why. As rain falls upstream, it has to filter through these rivers, and they expand even more, again, long after the rain has ended. So the crest can occur, or the crest is when the river reaches its highest point, and the crest can occur long after the rain has stopped. And the reason, well, it's water that has fallen upstream, and it'll take time to filter down through the river. So again, that's the reason why we're seeing some homes get flooded, even though it hasn't rained in 3 or 4 days. But thankfully, those rivers are now beginning to drop. It's actually a fairly pleasant afternoon across Houston. 89 degrees at Bush, 88 up in Conroe, 90 degrees in Huntsville, 88 degrees down there on Galveston Island. The winds from the east, nice and calm out there, 3, 6, 8 miles an hour, so maybe a little breeze, but all in all, a decent afternoon. So here's the way things look on the satellite, our GOES 16, our high-res satellite. You can see this is really interesting. Watch carefully the clouds coming from the southwest to the northeast. Those are the high-level clouds, and then you look carefully again. Look at the low-level clouds pushing from east to west, so it's pretty cool to see that on our high-res GOES 16 satellite. As far as your future track goes, looking like a fairly pleasant evening. May see a sprinkle or two out there, but all in all, it is quiet. We may see a few sprinkles heading into tomorrow afternoon. Again, our timestamp at 3 o'clock. Wouldn't cancel any outdoor activities. Your Labor Day looking like it's going to be a fairly decent one as the recovery continues here across southeast Texas. And temperatures expected to once again be up right around 90 degrees. Cooling down into the 70s overnight tonight as we head into tomorrow, starting off at the noon hour, 86 degrees, 87, 85. Warming up into those upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. I'm officially going with 91 for a daytime high. My goodness, there is Hurricane Irma. Of course, that is the talk of the town right now. And just looking at it, I'll tell you, it does not look very impressive to me on the satellite, but the National Hurricane Center still says it is a Category 3 hurricane with winds of about 115 miles per hour. So, where exactly is it going? Well, here's the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and you will see that it takes it very close, if not right through the northern Leeward Islands, perhaps into Puerto Rico, and then cruising right through the Bahamas here is a 130 mile an hour Category Category 4 hurricane. So let's take a look at the reason why our steering currents. We've got a high pressure well to the west, the cold front that is bringing in our cool weather heading into early next week or mid next week could be the catalyst to either steering this out to sea or allowing Irma to crash into the east coast. Again, if the front stalls out, it may be a bigger threat for the East Coast. If the front comes through a little faster, maybe out to sea. There are hurricane watches up for the northern Leeward Islands, so they will have to watch this very carefully, as well as Puerto Rico. So your takeaways here. Irma expected to remain a very dangerous hurricane. Direct impact on the East Coast remains an uncertain possibility at this time. It does not appear to be a threat to Texas, but we will continue to watch it. And again, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and the Bahamas are in the cone. So your 7-day outlook, slight chances of rain Tuesday into Wednesday, beautiful weather Thursday, Friday, heading into next weekend. Ron, still looking at overnight lows down into the 50s by Thursday morning.
I like that. Thank you so much, Blake.
Right.
As flood victims work day and night to salvage what they can, Tyson Foods is making sure they at least have a hot meal to eat. Chickens and burgers were on the menu, cooked at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds up in Conroe, then delivered to residents in southeast Texas who need it. This also included pre-cooked meals sent to shelters and churches to feed evacuees in the future. This was a record-breaking day for their disaster relief efforts. They cooked and delivered almost 51,000 meals. They'll be here for another 2 weeks. In sports, there are two huge stories from today. Justin Verlander officially introduced as an Astro, and Texan star J.J. Watt starting to deliver all the donated items that he's been collecting. Matt's coming up next with all the details.
Looking for adventure this Labor Day?
Holy smokes. Oh man, that's pretty intense.
Look no further than Chevrolet.
This is a fast car. I feel like I left my soul back there.
Wow, this has power. Head to the Chevy Labor Day sales event and ride out the summer in a new Chevrolet. Now use Labor Day bonus cash to get a total value over $12,000 on this Silverado Texas edition. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on all Tahoe and Suburban models. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
We're at the Gallery Furniture this Labor Day weekend for the biggest and best savings ever on Made in America furniture as we celebrate the American worker. Labor Day weekend opens at 10 o'clock at all Gallery Furniture locations. Buy your furniture this weekend at Gallery Furniture. Selected Made in America sofas, sectional, solid wood furniture save 30 to 60%. Biggest sale in Gallery Furniture's history. Save on Made in America furniture. Get it delivered tonight. Labor Day Super Sale for the 10. Gallery saves you money today. We're at the Gallery Furniture this Labor Day weekend for the biggest and best savings ever on Made in America furniture as we celebrate the American worker. Labor Day weekend opens at 10 o'clock at all Gallery Furniture locations. Buy your furniture this weekend at Gallery Furniture. Selected Made in America sofas, sectional, solid wood furniture save 30 to 60%. Biggest sale in Gallery Furniture's history. Save on Made in America furniture. Get it delivered tonight. Labor Day Super Sale for the 10. Gallery saves you money today.
Hurry, it's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event.
I'll jump out and guide you back. Easy, son. This is gonna blow your mind. Whoa, awesome. That is really cool.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. It's our best offer of the year on F-150. Get 0% for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in.
Now get the built Ford Tough F-150 with 0 for 72 plus $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Hurry, this deal ends September 5th. Only at your best in Texas Ford dealer.
We're at the Gallery Furniture this Labor Day weekend for the biggest and best savings ever on Made in America furniture as we celebrate the American worker. Labor Day weekend opens at 10 o'clock at all Gallery Furniture locations. Buy your furniture this weekend at Gallery Furniture. Selected Made in America sofas, sectional, solid wood furniture save 30 to 60%. Biggest sale in Gallery Furniture's history. Save on Made in America furniture. Get it delivered tonight. Labor Day Super Sale for the 10. Gallery saves you money today.
You have to have a lot of passion to grow grass in December in Denver. You have to know how many times a cleat can touch a single blade before it breaks. Even if it doesn't make the headlines, when it's football, you give it everything.
Hey, Chris. You know what I mean?
Appreciate everything you do for football, man.
The game wouldn't be as good without you.
We're 1 week away from the start of the NFL season, but with everything that's gone on over the past week, the biggest question for me today is, what's the bigger story? Justin Verlander officially becoming an Astro and bolstering that team's World Series chances, or is it Texan star J.J. Watt making a public appearance for his multi-million-dollar fundraiser? They are both huge stories, so we'll concentrate on both. But first, let's welcome Justin Verlander to the city. Verlander is clearly excited to begin his new chapter in his life, and after spending 13 years in Detroit, the six-time All-Star says he hopes to help bring a championship to this city. This city really needs something like that. But he says it was not an easy decision late Thursday night. Right before midnight, with his fiancée Kate Upton at his side, Justin only had about 30 minutes to make that decision.
At one point, I was kind of pacing back and forth in my living room. It was just Kate and I, and I'm going, trust your instincts, trust your instincts. What are your instincts telling you? I mean, really, it was like I was just so caught in between with emotion and the excitement of a new ball club, and ultimately it came down to winning, you know, and joining an organization that is set up to win for a long time. And I think, you know, I think I heard you mention yesterday that I'm just a puzzle piece that fits in great with this ball club. And I think that's the perfect way to describe it.
Again, Verlander will make his first start as an Astro Tuesday night in Seattle, but he's been a good luck charm already as the Astros won their third straight from the Mets today with Verlander in the dugout. Newcomer Cameron Maybin and George Springer both homered for the home team. The Astros beat the Mets 8-6. They've now won 4 straight overall. Now to J.J. Watt and the Texans. Watt has made national headlines by raising over $18 million for his Harvey Relief Fund. But he's also collected a warehouse full of supplies for victims. And that's where Daniel Gutierrez picks up the story.
In 7 days, the Texans will do what they're paid to do. Today,
they are superstars on the field, and they are superstars on the street in the community.
J.J. Watt and his teammates did what they felt was right.
When the city's down, this is our city. So we want to make sure that we're there for them and we show them how much we care and how much we appreciate them.
Purely water and Gatorade, the next 2 stocks.
At 4 locations, the Texans were hard at work handing out 10 semi-trucks worth of donations.
Just to come back and give back to the community during this, disaster, that tell you right there what type of bond that the team have.
Lamar Miller was at the Jewish Community Center off Braeswood. He was joined by linebacker Brian Peters, who for the past 24 hours was cleaning up his own house, which had 2 feet of water in it.
My teammates came to my rescue. I had 5 guys on the team come over and help me move out the waterlogged furniture, and they ended up helping out some of my neighbors too.
Trainer Jeff Kaplan's family had to be rescued, and he helped direct traffic as well. Everyone has a story, each of them hitting close to home.
When it's personal and when it hits that close to home, it takes it to a whole new level.
And the amazing thing is, of the $18 million that JJ has raised on his charity website, not a single penny was spent on buying any of these donations handed out today. Number 99 says he's going to take his time and find the right charities that will benefit the right people here in this city. In Houston, Daniel Gutierrez, KHOU 11 Sports.
For more than 100 years, Star Furniture has stood with our neighbors in Houston and Texas. And now, after the devastation of Harvey, we're open and ready to help families get back to the comfort they deserve. Come in now and save an extra 20% off furniture and mattresses. Plus, get special additional manufacturer discounts throughout the store. Plus, get up to 5 years free financing. And when you purchase any mattress $9.99 or more, we'll deliver your entire purchase free when and where you need it. Star Furniture.
You have to have a lot of passion to grow grass in December in Denver. You have to know how many times a cleat can touch a single blade before it breaks. Even if it doesn't make the headlines, when it's football, you give it everything.
Hey, Chris, you know what I mean?
Appreciate everything you do for football, man.
The game wouldn't be as good without you. Let's do it.
Looking for adventure this Labor Day?
Holy smokes. Oh man, that's pretty intense.
Look no further than Chevrolet.
This is a fast car. I feel like I left my soul back there.
Wow, this has power.
Head to the Chevy Labor Day sales event and ride out the summer in a new Chevrolet. Now use Labor Day bonus cash to get a total value over $12,000 on this Silverado Texas edition, or get 0% financing for 72 months on all Tahoe and Suburban models. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
We're standing for Houston. We'll see you at 10 o'clock.
Big ideas, big exclusives with Len and Mia. KHOU 11 News at 10. See the weather all across the Houston area and right in your own neighborhood with Houston's largest weather network. WeatherBug, only on KHOU 11.
Katy, the Woodlands, Galveston, Sugar Land. There are dozens of WeatherBug cameras, so you can check the weather wherever you are, whenever you need it, and see what's happening live.
Stay informed with WeatherBug, only on KHOU 11. Sponsored by TXU Energy.
Through Kroger Community Rewards, local nonprofits earn millions of dollars each year. Sign up at Kroger Community Rewards, and every time you use your Plus card, you can donate to the local group that matters most to you, just by shopping at Kroger. Rescue and disaster relief agencies are among the many nonprofits you can support when you sign up for Kroger Community Rewards. Please join us in lending a helping hand to all those affected. Simply sign up online and link your Plus card today.
It's the Kia Summer SUV Clearance Event from the brand ranked #1 in initial quality by J.D. Power 2 years in a row. We're celebrating with deals on J.D. Power award-winning SUVs like the capable Sorento, the adventurous Turbo Soul, and the Niro, the most fuel-efficient crossover. Plus, the versatile Sportage, named a KBB.com Best Buy. Hurry in for great offers on quality SUVs at the Kia Summer SUV Clearance Event. Get $2,500 bonus cash on the 2017 Soul. Visit KiaDealers.com today.
Star Furniture is the place to save this Labor Day weekend. Our biggest savings store-wide. Plus an extra 20% off. Plus up to 5 years interest-free financing. Plus free delivery on everything with purchase of any mattress $9.99 or more. Save on everything for your home, including the best selection and lowest prices on name brand mattresses. An extra 20% off, plus up to 5 years free financing, plus free delivery. There's never been a better time to save at Star. Sale ends Monday.
Hurricane Harvey has devastated Texas. Nearly 5 years after Superstorm Sandy killed 117 people and caused more than $60 billion worth of damage in the Northeast. Thousands of families that survived Sandy say they were then hit by a second wave. Fraud.
I was like, how can you tell me that you just can't cover this, that I'm not going to get the full amount of my insurance? I said, you got my payments every month.
As Harvey survivors face a difficult future, we look back at Hurricane Sandy and why so many families didn't get the help they deserved.
Where is the motor in here?
Here is the motor is here.
It's in here.
Yeah.
He's talking about this, mini motors fixed inside bicycles, a high-tech stealth form of cheating that many people we spoke with believe have been used in the Tour de France.
So if someone came to you and said directly, I want to use your invention to cheat, I'll pay you a lot of money for it, would you sell it to them?
If the money is big, why not?
We took a test ride to see how well these motors work.
Hello.
What do you want?
There are not many shows on television that deserve to be called true American institutions. But one of them surely is Sesame Street. Now there's a new kid on the street who's making news.
Hi, Julia.
Julia, a Muppet with autism. Not an easy addition.
It's tricky because autism is not one thing, because it is different for every single person who has autism.
Yeah, we really like Julia. She's really special to us, Miss